Hello and welcome. My name is Jits V.MPG and today I'm going to be presenting a presentation to you about my future development plan and where I would like to be in the next 5 to 6 years. I'm just going to go through a brief introduction about what my presentation will be about and what routes we take to go get our goals, dreams and to go get aspirations. Firstly, I'm going to start off with career paths. Career path is where you want to go, your structure in life, what route you want to go. Also, backup plans, where do you want to be. So I'm going to be talking about myself with that. Looking at types of contracts, so placement types, full-time, part-time. So even if you're sacked or you resign, what are the regulations we follow, what are the rules? Recruitment strategies, so how do I go about this, where do I look to get my job, what happens after I get my job, and how does my company benefit me with the beginning steps of applying for my job. I'll also be learning, performing and changing throughout these stages of my lifetime career in the aviation industry. I'd have to follow development plans, I'd be set targets in my job and hopefully move up. And with that I'll be talking about human resource policy, which is an absolutely important element in today's industry for anything. We need to follow rules because that's what makes companies so successful, multi-billionaire companies. And exit strategy is the last thing I'll talk about how do you go about giving a notice in when you're told to leave. What's the procedure when you look for a new job? Career paths. Well, as you can see, we're in 2012. My current position is I'm a sales assistant working in the airport. This is also beneficial for me because at university I study airline airport management. So I'm also in the airport environment at work. So this means that I'm gaining vast amount of knowledge how the aviation industry is changing. However, this is in retail, so if you look at it, it's not what I want to do. It's just a normal retail job, but I'm gaining my experience. Next year I'm looking to move to more of a superior role, so supervisor's role, a manager handling rota data, looking at sort of more communication skills, helping jobs, just sort of taking more control of my job. Or in 2015, which will be another 2 years later, I want to be able to apply as an airline pilot. One of my hobbies is to be a pilot, and I studied to be a pilot outside university. It's self-funded because loans and other sort of funding problems are, they're difficult to get. So I'll be self-funding this. Then I'll apply for my airline pilot degree. When I finish my degree, I'll apply for a pilot. Once I've applied for this position, I'm going to hopefully move up by 2017 and progress to a captain's role. This will then allow me to be closer to my dream. Contract types. For me personally, when I start off with British Airways, my contract type will be full-time, and I will be a first officer, which would be 3 badges, and then you need at least 15,000 hours and at least 4 years of experience flying. As a pilot in British Airways, I would like to be employed full-time. However, it's a very competitive job role. So do I have a backup plan? Well, yes, I do. And this is also going to be included in my presentation. When I apply for my job, there's always going to be a recruitment strategy, an element that we go through where what happens once you get the job. So I look for my job, I look online, I find it on aviation airline sites. For example, British Airways, the host of job sites. I'll apply directly for a scheme called the Direct Pilot Entry Scheme via the British Airways vacancy process. And due to obviously how in advance you apply and how long it takes you to get the job, I will be looking for other jobs. So this will be another backup plan. If, for example, applicant is accepted, so me, if I am accepted, which I would like to think so, I will have to put in follow training and legislation programs in order to make sure that I'm following the rules that my company are giving me. After all the legalities and rules and documentation is agreed, I will then start doing a specific training to what types of airlines the aircraft have, what types of aircraft the airlines have. For example, I have to do an IQ test, an aptitude test, and have to be trained on certain types of aircraft. So this will take a long procedure, this will take a long time. After I've trained on a specific aircraft, I will then receive analysis and evaluation of how I've progressed from the day I got the job to when I actually sit in the seat, and I'll then have to be given aspects of my job role, uniform, timing, because this is in the airport, looking at security threats and loads of other threatening factors. So I have to make sure that not only I'm performing well, but I have a good background and history. After that, I'll be tested on a multi-crew cooperation test, which means that I'll have to make big decisions, work with loads of amount of passengers. I'd have to then talk about abilities and decisions made. With terrorism these days in the aviation industry, it's very important that we act under the right senses, with the right control. So a recruitment is when we go through a stage where we talk about what our job's about. Learning and developing. So after I get my job, after I've gone through recruitment, I would like to just give a statement here, which means pilots within British Airways will all go through a learning and development stage. Any job you all do, that's why we progress. So in British Airways, as if I'm a pilot, after every 6 months I'll go for appraisal, I'll go through regular learning and training updates of what needs to be done. Technology is always increasing, so I need to make sure that I'm top of my game. New airlines coming in, what are the new facilities, what are the capabilities that allow me to be able to fly the aircraft. So my appraisal, a meeting will be arranged at a venue, and then a training will be taking place. They will look at my history, look at how much I've progressed, and tell me this is what I need to do. And then I'll be trained physically, and I'll be given a development plan, so which means in the next 6 months they'll evaluate how I've moved from the first section to the third section. Performance management strategy. It's very important to make sure when I'm working in British Airways, especially as a pilot, handling 45 passengers daily, that I make sure that I'm performing well, making sure that I'm fit to fly, making sure that I'm up to date. So performance is a strategy which as managers these days, it's important to make sure that the staff you're controlling, they need to perform well. So you need to carry out a GAP analysis. A gap analysis basically is in relation to the job position you're in. So my job position is BA. They will look at me as an individual, or look at, for example, how I fly the aircraft, how do I react to situations. So they tell me what I need to do. Now they will evaluate on did I do those things right, and then I will then be given a documentation related to gap and telling me that I need to do this and that. So I need to make sure that my performance is up to date. So it's just like doing a scale from 1 to 5. Change management strategy. This is a very simple example I have here. Change management strategy is when things change in the environment, when people come and go, when things happen. In 2008, British Airways had a problem where a lot of managers left due to a change of whole environmental issues. What happens is pilots are called, members of organisations are called, a plan is introduced, a new organisation comes in. Then they will present the plan, and then we will have to develop the plan. We'll have to go out, we have to perform, come back with those figures, and work hard. Employees and pilots will be rewarded for each other's help, and staff will just need to push the word, as the airline industry is so large you can't tell everyone about the change. If you just have a look in and zoom in, this is a human resources strategy where this is what British Airways will do for me. I'll commence on my employment, they'll talk to me about my job title, my placement of, if I'm going to have a part-time job, my payment, wages, position, holiday, sickness, pension, if I'm about to leave, what happens in disciplinary and grievance performance, what's the procedure, diversity and confidence. For example, you can't take imagery pictures of the airline if you are actually working for the airline. Searches, insurances, looking for security, health and safety, deductions from pay, terms of employment, data protection, and just general agreement. And also very importantly, third-party rights, making sure that if you disclose any information, right, that has to be taken in place. Exit strategy. This is if I'm about to leave my job and move on, I'd have to hand in my notice, and then they will ask me why I'm resigning. I have to then work my contracted hours, and then after my job has got all my paperwork together, I'd have to then leave. An assignment will be reassignment will be agreed. Thank you very much for my presentation.